everyone, welcome to Gene Calderon Apologetics Ministries. I am Gene Calderon, and we are doing our teaching series as we looked at different days with a different theme. And this day being Thursday, we are going to look what we call Theology Thursday. And this is the day that we look at our theology, the study of God. Who is God? What is God? Why is God? And so we like to dig a little bit deeper into understanding who God is and why he is the way that he is. And so what we want to talk about today, as the last couple of Theology Thursdays, we were talking about the incorporeality of God, which means he is formless, he is bodiless, he is not of any physical substance, he is spirit. We understand that. But what about the visions of God? When people actually see God, like prophets such as Moses or Isaiah, who have actually claimed to have seen God. Well, how do we make sense of that if he is not physical, if he is completely spiritual? One thing we have to understand is visions are mental projections that can be caused by God. And we have to remember that these mental projections are not always, in a sense, real, so that other people can actually see what I am seeing. Now, some people might argue then, well, wouldn't that just make them hallucinations? Well, hallucinations would be a delusion, a result of some kind of biochemical cause or result of something that may be going on either with the chemicals in our minds or the chemicals that we may ingest or take. But is that what's going on here? It'd be something like a man who is dying of thirst, right? And all of a sudden there is this self-induced vision, or a drunk person who might see pink elephants or penguins or, things of that sort. Again, caused by some kind of different chemical that is introduced to the body. But I believe that the visions of God are not self-induced or biochemically induced, that they are caused by God himself. They are meant to project or to reveal God's glory and his holiness to the person that he chooses to reveal himself to. Now, we got to keep in mind, God does not have a body. And so these are not actual visions of God himself, but he is trying to communicate something to us and allow us to visually put together something that would represent his essence. Now, God allows Moses to see a diminished form of himself when he puts Moses on a cliff and he says, I will walk past and you're not going to see the front of me but my back. Again, God has no front or back. So what does he mean? He basically is telling Moses, look, you would not be able to take in all of actually seeing or my presence being there. So I'm going to give you a diminished form of myself, which he says, you're just going to see my back. And it's a vision or a mental understanding of God that Moses could bear and understand in the sense of having a relationship with God. And so when we look at these visions of God, these what we sometimes call Theophanies, we have to understand that whatever is seen or described is only meant to describe the character or the nature of God, but the physical visions or the things, the objects that we see that God allows us to be able to put together with his character are not actually visions of God himself. God is invisible. God is incorporeal, which means there is no physical vision that we can have of who God actually is, but he allows himself to be understood through visions and representations of his character. So again, it gets a little complicated, but I don't really think it's very confusing. I think it actually makes sense that God is trying to show us something like it's hot, like boiling water, or it's cold like a block of ice. These are things that we understand. Hot doesn't look like anything. Cold doesn't look like anything. But when you put something to it, you kind of get a better understanding. I think that's exactly what God is trying to do for us through prophets such as Moses, Isaiah, or Elijah, Elisha, things like that. So that is what I believe God is doing. And that I think is a way we can understand better a little bit of our theology about God. So thank you so much for watching us this Theology Thursday. I hope it helps. Again, this is Gene Calderon here, serving Ratio Christi at Purdue University as a missionary. If you'd like to be able to support us financially to be able to reach students on the college campuses in Northwest Indiana, there's going to be a link down at the bottom where you can do that. Really appreciate that kind of support, especially with school about to start up again for the next semester. We're looking forward to that. or I do serve at Freedom Church in East Chicago. Bible studies, serving with worship, or anything that we can do within the Northwest Indiana there, serving other churches, study groups, Bible groups, anywhere. And if you're interested in more on something we can do, we do have some events coming up. You can join us there or invite us to your group. If you have a study group or something that you'd like to be able to look at with us, feel free to reach out to us and let us know you're interested, and we could set something up so easily, and it'd be my joy to serve. God bless you all. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you soon. Take care.